Fists up. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the Afro-American people. Under God, I will protect freedom, seek peace, honor our ancestors, and encourage and support the development and prosperity of people of African descent. Seek peace, honor our ancestors, and encourage and support the development and prosperity of people of African descent. The development and prosperity of people of African descent.
I just personally find it funny how we have a pledge of allegiance to African Americans, yet those same African Americans won't help each other in their time of need. You have African Americans who rob each other. You have African Americans who kill each other. You have African Americans who beat each other. You have African Americans who will see somebody doing that and won't say a word because snitches get stitches. You have people who will actively advocate for somebody doing that and robbing people and burning down stores, all for the sake of some delusion of white supremacy and pretending to care about black lives. I'm having a hard time trying to understand how anyone can stand up, hold their fist in the air, and say they're all for the prosperity and the respect and the peace and the adulation of the Afro-American community or the black community or the BIPOC community when we got problems that would be really solved, or at least a little bit better, if more people were a little bit self-accountable in the fact that they partake in some of these actions. It's weird that for so long this game has gone on and people just let it happen. They don't do anything. They don't want to improve it. They just want to sit there, live in shambles. And everybody who speaks against that and you don't want to live in that, you a coon, you a bigot, you all these things because you see a problem in your own community and you care about that community, yet nobody's helping you address that problem. I can sit here and point this all out. I can go in these areas and actually try to build community and actually get younger people to understand, a lot of this stuff you see that's popularized, it's not the way. A lot of this stuff you see that get people famous, it's not really anything positive. You should be doing something a little bit different if you actually want to have a successful life. That's actually positive. That's actually beneficial to not just you, but your family, maybe even the community you care about. But no, we got to worry about niggas sagging. We got to worry about niggas robbing. We got to make sure we got the best girl. We got to make sure we got the money. We got to make sure we got the weed. We got to make sure we got all these things. And when it comes time for the community to come together, we only do it if it pertains to a white person. So I'm having a hard time understanding how in the fuck a community is supposed to be a community when all we do is bark about the most pointless shit and ignore the real problems.
Orlando police say a child is one of 2 people in custody after a deadly shooting at an apartment complex. Good afternoon to you. I'm Carla Ray. Officers were called out to that apartment complex along Mercy Drive just before midnight. It all started with a fight between 2 women, and then a child shot one of those women who was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Channel 9's Q McRae is live outside of the Orlando Police Department right now. And Q, what happened here? Was there a motive in this case?
You know, at this point, Carla, that's still all up in the air, but I did have an opportunity to head over to the Windsor Cove apartment complex, and I had an opportunity to speak with a lot of the members of the community there, including the victim's best friend. And as you can imagine, right now they are saddened by this news and what they experienced and witnessed late last night. We have some video to show you right now. This is a picture of the victim. Now, we're not going to release her name at this point because OPD hasn't at this point, but her friends call her Bone. And apparently Bone last night was grilling up some barbecue with her friends, including her best friend who we spoke to off camera. And they said around 10 to midnight, for some reason, one of the neighbors started an argument with Bone. The argument escalated. And at some point, the daughter of the other woman came up with a gun and shot Bone. Bone died later at the hospital. Now, according to the victim's best friend, again, Bone was just trying to celebrate Memorial Day. This is the last thing she expected to happen. Here's what she had to tell us.
I'm trying not to cry so bad because I know for a fact she is so sweet and I love her and I'm definitely going to miss her. She will always be in my heart and in my soul.
An hour and a half ago, Fort Bone. They say that she's lived in the Windsor Cove apartment complex for years now. She's well known in that community. Now, when it comes to the mother and the daughter who were taken into custody here at OPD, it's still unclear if they're facing any charges at this point. All we know is that they were taken into custody for questioning. Their names haven't been released yet, so we'll stay on top of this story. Once we get another update from OPD, we'll let you know. Until then, that's the latest here live. I'm Hugh McCrae, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
It's a story that's hard to take in, but now the arrest affidavit for an Orlando woman gives more details about the Memorial Day cookout that turned deadly, allegedly at the hands of the woman's 10-year-old daughter. As West 2's Michelle Meredith explains, the woman who was shot and killed was simply celebrating the holiday.
According to the arrest affidavit, it started Memorial Day when Lucretia Isaac spotted a woman barbecuing at their apartment complex, a woman Isaac already had a beef with. According to witnesses, Isaac punched her. The woman punched back, hit Isaac in the face. At some point, witnesses say Isaac took off her backpack and gave it up to her 10-year-old daughter. As the two women continued to fight, witnesses say they saw the girl rummaging through the backpack, heard a gunshot. The victim, LaShun Rogers, fell to the ground with a gunshot wound to the head. According to deputies, Isaac's daughter then yelled, "You shouldn't have messed with my mother." Her mother was arrested, facing a host of charges, including not properly storing a firearm and manslaughter by culpable negligence. In Orange County, Michelle Meredith, West 2 News.
Learning the identity of the 4 arrested for yesterday's fatal carjacking.
A law enforcement source says police arrested 17-year-old John Honore and 3 15-year-old females, Renaya Baker, Markel Curtis, and Lanira Theophile. Fox 8 also just obtained the video of the horrific death that has shocked the metro area. Natasha Robin has more.
To me, it was meditated. I mean, they knew what they were doing, and then it was done. And it was a choice that we're going to do this.
4 juveniles now in custody for the horrific murder of 73-year-old Linda Fricky.
It looked like a crime of opportunity.
Fricky worked for Rick Hodges as a life insurance agent for 30 years.
She was a great employee. You know, it was hard to go back and think about it, how this would happen to somebody like her.
A law enforcement source says police arrested 17-year-old John Honore and 3 15-year-old females, Bernia Baker, Marquel Curtis, and Lanira Theophile. Chief Sean Ferguson says they're charged with second-degree murder after carjacking and dragging Fricky to her death. Hodges and other witnesses told Fox 8 it was the male suspect who first attacked Fricky, possibly with mace.
And that's when he rushed her. He tried to pull her out of the car, seemed to be struggling with that, and as he was pulling her out, you could see where he started to physically assault her, basically.
He says during the attack, Fricky became stuck in the seatbelt as the teens drove away, dragging her from North Scott to Bienville and onto North Pierce.
You could hear her screaming.
Fricky's arm was eventually severed and her body laid in the middle of the street.
It's disgusting. I'm going to keep reliving that, you know, God knows how long.
Many now hope the teens will be charged as adults, including Chief Sean Ferguson.
I would say absolutely. I mean, look at the nature of the crime. Look at what we're facing. I mean, brazenness, broad daylight, with no regards to this woman hanging from a vehicle.
DA Jason Williams released a statement calling the crime unthinkable and said any and all persons that the evidence shows participated in the murder of this elder will be prosecuted to the absolute fullest extent of the law.
They're preying on older women and older people and people that can't defend themselves. It's just like, it's cowardly.
Necessarily trying to defend the business, but we wanted to go clean up. We wanted to let people know we were in support. We wanted to just be there.
But as her husband Ralph was trying to clean up outside, Alvarez says she turned to see him on the ground in front of a large crowd, unconscious.
I started to scream. I tried to wake him. He wouldn't wake back up. And I tried to call for the police. No one was picking up. I tried to call from the phone in there. No one was picking up. And people just kept coming by and just looking at him, and I wanted him to wake up.
When she went to help him, that's when she says she was attacked.
A woman came out of nowhere and hit me over the back with the crowbar.
Alvarez finally got through to 911 on her cell phone. She says her husband was taken to Stroger Hospital with a serious head injury.
The people that did this, the people that I saw, they weren't protesters. Protesters have a cause. This is a struggle. We're angry. We're angry at what is happening. But this is our city. They're tearing, whoever this is, looters, they are tearing it down.
A student at Vitterboro University in La Crosse, Wisconsin claims she had been the victim of racist incidents, including arson. However, police discovered that the alleged victim of framed hate crimes was the one caught on surveillance video starting the fire in the university's resident hall. Vitterboro University student Victoria Unaka is reported to have texted a friend on April 18th claiming that a small fire started in the girls' resident hall must have been directed towards herself because it began in the next room over. When police investigated the fire and reviewed security footage, authorities discovered that it was the same student who had set the fire. You got people who stand proud and say, we are the black community, we're a family, we stick together, yet they will say point blank, black on black, a black person harming another black person, it don't exist, it don't count, it's not a thing. Yet they'll turn right back around and let you know everything's a racism issue. We got problems with white people everywhere, yet they don't want to deal with the bad apples in-house. And I understand the generalization of thinking all black people are thugs. That's dumb. Don't do that. However, I've said it time and time again. We got bad apples in every single one of these marginalized communities. And instead of addressing that and calling them out and picking them out and throwing them the fuck away, no, we got to make sure everybody comes together. We got to hold everybody's hand. We got to pay attention. We got to understand how people feel. We got to understand that maybe that person robbed somebody because they're less fortunate. Maybe that person did something because they just lost a job. Maybe they're robbing and burning down a store because they need a phone, and it's rightfully fine for somebody to do something like that. No, it is dumb. And so when I see people pledge allegiance to a black community and I'm looking at a black community in shambles, I can only laugh my ass off because it's fucking embarrassing how long it takes people to realize that there's a problem. It won't be enough for people to just say, oh, we got a problem. It takes people to have that happen to them, and it shouldn't be. You got somebody who nobody is seemingly caring about, even when they got 20,000 on the line for anybody to give decent, basic information. That's fucking sad. That's fucking pathetic. And there's no way I can pledge allegiance to something that's a total fucking sham, because the community everybody likes to praise and talk about never really comes together for anything serious. Goodbye.